We've seen one of the greatest goals in the history of lacrosse, Gary Gait.
Gary Gait just scored that goal, which was absolutely sensational. First time ever from behind, jumped over, took Canaris by surprise, but Canaris has been the guy that really has set the tempo for Penn. He's been the guy that really puts the big stop on. Look at that. There it is. That's typical of his first half play, just snuffing Zilberti, the great Zilberti, and turning away yet another good shot by Syracuse. Syracuse has had their opportunities. The great defense, especially of Canaris, has turned them away.
Canaris has been the key, and as we look at the halftime statistics, we'll see that Syracuse had the shots in the first half, but Canaris was too strong.
And the save stat really shows you that. Penn with 12 saves, Syracuse with 6. A sensational day for the kid Canaris, and a so-so day for Paleb. He's going to have to raise the level of his play a little bit because Penn is sky high, and Syracuse is going to have to do it for 2 more quarters. It could be very interesting.
Penn Quakers on top of Syracuse, 4-3 at halftime. We'll be back with the second half coming up next on ESPN. Half underway here from the Carrier Dome, and Syracuse still with the extra man, down by a goal, but up by a man here in the opening seconds of the third quarter.
Bill, terrible mistake by Penn. They had possession, and they absolutely threw it away to give Syracuse a chance at the extra man goal. Now they're getting the right personnel in there. Paul Gait comes in to the goalie's left, to the bottom of our screen. There's Gary Gait, 22. Paul, his brother, 19. They're left-hand cannons, and they want to get the shot.
Here's Roos wide open, 20 yards from the cage, moving in, does not fire it away. Instead passes to Wiegand, and they pass it around the cage in a clockwise motion.
So Bertie's saying, what's going on?
Gait again. Did he get it in? Yes, he did. Gary Gait has done it again as he scales the net, goes flying through the air. He is becoming the Michael Jordan of lacrosse, going through the air and dunking it in from behind.
Absolutely incredible. You know, this is a guy who is inventing a shot. You're seeing history. Gary Gait is inventing a shot. He's been successful once, which makes it hard to believe that Canaris will let him do it again. He launches himself. Tremendous height on the throw. The goalie goes in there. The ball, it looked very hard to me to tell whether it was inside or out. He couldn't even tell. Let's take another angle. Gary drops it first, gets the defense frozen, and then launches himself up. Now, Canaris, slow to react, doesn't knock the ball back. There it goes. Gait gets his second over the back goal. He's inventing a shot. History right here being made by Gary Gait, the unbelievable player from Canada.
On the draw, it is Flynn against Durgel again. Durgel knocks it away, but Flynn able to get it for the Quakers, moving right to left, and here they come. This is Christopher Judy, number 44, the long stick, crossfield to Steven Stoll. 4-4 game.
Bill, the good news is that Gary Gait is sensational, and he can invent shots, and he's just tremendous. The bad news is that's not going to win him the game on that shot. He's got to do what he did all year long, and that's the cannon from up top, working inside.
Here's Lyons of Pennsylvania, backs in. Stripped of the ball, Syracuse possession left to right, and here come the Orangemen. They have not led in this game. It is 4-4 now, and Syracuse has a fast break as Egan fires it to Zilberti in front. A shot just wide by Schluter as he bounced it.
That was a chance for a goal to put him ahead. Schluter got it right where he wanted it on the crease. They clear so well these long sticks. He got the shot and missed the goal. That's the reason Canaris didn't have much to say about this. Watch Zilberti go right back to the crease to the long stick, usually a defenseman, and he misses the 6x6, or else that could have been the one to put Syracuse ahead today.
The extra man goal by Gary Gait is 67th goal of the season, coming 51 seconds into the quarter.
You know, the coaching staff told us yesterday that he was working on that shot in practice this week, though, and Ira was really hesitant to believe that it could be effective. 2 for 2 from behind the goal. Unreal.
Here's Zilberti. Weak pass to Roos is nearly picked off. Roos will chase it down and shovel it back to Zilberti. Egan regains it on the turf behind the cage. 4-4 game, 2 minutes gone by, second half. Here's Gary Gait. Here he comes again. He shoots and scores. What a great play by Gait. He was wanted to by the defender and knocked him away with that big upper body, and then moved it around Canaris and put Syracuse up 5-4.
This is what makes him so great. He is so physically imposing. He's very strong, along with the skills that he has with his stick work. Watch how McCartney, number 39, doesn't knock him off his wheels. You got to take him down. You can't just bounce off him. Look, he bounces off him. McCartney gets help from Canaris with the great stick work of Gary Gait, puts the ball between the two players. We'll watch it again, and the key being you've got to knock him down if you're going to hit him. McCartney gives him a hit, not enough to knock him down. Canaris comes out the double, but the slick stick work puts the ball between the two players. Gary Gait's taking over as we thought he would. 3 goals today.
68 goals. Next would be 69. Evan Davis of Arizona in 1985 has that record. That's the all-time record. Most of those goals came against club teams. 5-4 Syracuse. Flynn steals that pass from Durgel. But it's picked up by the Orangeman. Paul Gate over to Gary. Feeds in front. They score! And Silverby put it in. And Syracuse is exploding in the opening moments of the third quarter.
Well, Gary Gates set it up beautifully. It was a changeup. He's reinventing every shot you've seen in the history of lacrosse. He's now patented the behind-the-goal shot. Watch this if we get a chance to look at it. It's a changeup. He's got an 80, 90, 100-mile-an-hour shot from the outside. Paul, his brother, picks it up. He looks for Gary to our right. Now watch Gary. He'll fake the shot. And a little changeup feed inside to Zilberti while the defense sags in for the hard crank shot. And that was what made it successful. Zilberti puts it in. Finally, a 2-goal lead for the high-powered offense. And Zilberti, the monkey off his back as he finally gets one past that great goalie, Canaris.
2 Syracuse goals within 14 seconds has given the Orangemen a 6-4 lead. They've scored the last 3 in the game.
You know, in the first half, there were 7 goals, Bill. All goals were scored by different people. Nobody had 2 goals. Gary Gate starting to take over.
Here he comes again. Gary Gate firing in front, gets it back, winds up, he shoots. He was stopped by Canaris.
Sensational stop by Canaris. He didn't fight for the second and third fake. He stood his ground. Gary Gate dumped it right into his knee area. Tremendous save. Canaris still not giving up against the Syracuse offense.
6-4 Syracuse, 3 minutes gone by. Third quarter. Canaris watches that one sail over him as the Quakers start their clear. They've been outplayed badly in the first 3 minutes of this quarter. Let's see if they can counterattack as Flynn beats up with a man, but gets it across the midfield line nicely. Here's Smith. Into the goal area. Peter Smith takes a shot. Taylor makes the save. Rebound. Stoker of Syracuse corrals it out to McNamara. Syracuse on the run. Here's a pass up the midfield to Greg Burns. Crossfield to Zilberti. On the left to Jim Egan, moves in, makes his move. He shoots and scores. And Syracuse leads at 7-4. And Jim Egan bounces it by Canaris.
Bill, this is exactly what I talked about as being effective in the first half. Well, take a look at the play. The transition play is what Penn did not let Syracuse do in the first half. This is where they are unstoppable in the game of lacrosse. Transition, run, tremendous skills. Penn stopped them in the first half. They are not effective so far now. We've got Tony Seaman with a timeout to reassess the situation and get his group together. But look at the transition. Nobody can stop the team from Syracuse when they are moving like this down the field.
Syracuse has exploded for 3 goals in 2.5 minutes, and the Orangemen have taken a 7-4 lead over Pennsylvania.
Syracuse player on the sideline. Injuries won't be a factor, though. They've got plenty of depth, and the key for this team is transition. Let's watch the transition. This is what they didn't do because of Penn's great tempo saver in the first half. Now the tempo is moving back to Syracuse. They are running, excuse me, they are gunning, and that's what they do most beautifully and successfully throughout this league. Nobody can stop the talent in the Syracuse team if they run and gun.
Syracuse has scored 4 times in the quarter to take a 7-4 lead. Here's Owens again for the Orangemen into the goal area, over to Egan. Down low to Zilberti, return feed in front, comes right in front of the cage, and it's picked up by the Quakers. They throw it away. Durgel, Zilberti, he scores! And Syracuse leads it 8-4.
Well, Penn turned it away the first time. Zilberti was trying to find Gary Gate. There are the 2 of them right now. They're talking about that exact play because they tried to feed it across the face of the goal to Gary. The ball went back out front. Watch, you tried to find Gary, knocked back by Canaris. Gary's on your left. The ball goes out front. It'll be picked off by Syracuse. Durgel comes back, finds Zilberti again. Zilberti, little shot against the unsettled Canaris, and when the goalie's unsettled, a much more of an opportunity for the offense to get the goal. Syracuse is really on a run. That's pretty much the trademark of this team, Bill. They can run off 9, 10 goals without much effort.
2 by Gate, 2 by Zilberti, 1 by Egan in 4 minutes and 51 seconds.
Again, going back to the first meeting, it was 5-5 in the third quarter. This game, it was 4-4. In 5-5 game earlier in the season, Syracuse scored 9 of the next 10 goals. Looks like they're trying to duplicate that effort.
Here we go again. Gary Gate moves in for the Orangemen. Winds up, shoots it wide, and you can see how he shoots on the dead run lead with authority.
That's where coaches really fear this guy. When he's moving, he is impossible to defense. In the first half, Penn really kept them from out of that motion type of offense.
We had a very physical face-off here between Durgel and Flynn. In fact, Durgel would not let him go. He clutched him by the right leg and said, "You're not going anywhere, buddy."
Well, I don't know if that's the case. It looks like Flynn was sort of standing over him saying, "You're not going anywhere, buddy." A lot of pushing and shoving. Two excellent face-off specialists in this semifinal matchup.
Here's a steal by the Quakers. Christopher Judy with a head of steam into the attacking half of the field as he moves into Syracuse real estate. Over on the right wing to Peter Smith. He'll lob it towards the end line. It's going to sail out of bounds, I believe. You bet. Bad pass there by Peter Smith.
Penn's getting a little bit unsettled. That's what Tony Seaman's afraid of. They cannot let the run and gun tactic of Syracuse affect the fact that the team from Penn has to settle things down. You see Tony Seaman now trying to get things squared away. They have to be a real cerebral team, do things just perfectly to be effective against the great talent base here at Syracuse. Bill, in the last 3 minutes, 5 goals for the Syracuse team.
They have bolted to an 8-4 lead. On their home field in upstate New York.
We look at Palem on the very controlled clearing situation. It's funny how great he can look when that offense gets going. Very little pressure on that defense this year. They've just scored so many goals, they haven't had any pressure.
Owens lobs it across to the midfield area. Peter Allen on the near side, number 15. This is the second Syracuse midfield. Here's a shot taken, and Burns is stopped by the Pennsylvania goaltender John Canaris, who played brilliantly in the first half, but here in this third quarter has seen 5 goals go by.
Now the score is only 8-4, Bill, and that is not hard for Penn to deal with either. If they get a couple goals here, they're still in this game. No question about it.
But for the second consecutive time upfield, they've thrown the ball out of bounds.
They definitely seem rattled. They are not into their game. They're a little bit shaken by the sheer power of that powder keg offense, as I call it for Syracuse. They can explode so fast that it just shocks you as a team.
Jim McNamara, local product at Syracuse, sat out his sophomore year here. Had some personal problems with the McNamara family, but he would like nothing more than to win a national championship. Just a stone's throw away from a high school here, West Genesee High School League, which has put out a number of final cross players collegiately.
No question about it. It's a hotbed for talent. Coaches from all over the country come up here to get some of the best players in the high school game.
Syracuse on the attack once again. Here's Owens, wide open. Rang it off the pipe to the right of the goaltender. Behind the cage, Zilberti once again. That's the 3rd time today Syracuse shooters have rung it off the pipes.
Zilberti now much more settled with his game, and he's the controlling factor. You see, it all starts back there with him. Look at the offense settle down, and if you give anybody in the offensive end of the field a break, a crack to get open, Zilberti will find it.
Gary Gate back to the cage. Over to Egan. Now Owens winds up and shoots it wide. You know, when Gary Gate has his back to the net, and I made the analogy to Jordan earlier, it's almost as if he's posting up because he brings 2 players with him.
He's very, very intimidating. You've got to focus on him. The tough thing there is that, here we go, 8-0 in the Carrier Dome for Syracuse. Very, very tough to play him here on their own home turf. Now watch Gary. He's behind the goal with his ball. Let's watch the shot from behind the crease.
Oh, he feeds in front, and Zilberti has stopped it. Hit the leg of the defenseman, sailed out of bounds. Zilberti went behind the head and shot it right off of Paul Kunkel.
Gary's done a lot of things. Gary Gate, as you look at Paul Zilberti, Zilberti's holding his left shoulder, looks like. He could have a little bit of an injury. Let's take a look at him on the sideline. He's holding his left arm very, very still. Don't get attended to over there. That would be a blow to the offense. This guy is really a catalyst for control in the offensive end of the field. Egan takes over.
He has 2 goals. Zilberti does. 2 goals and 1 assist on the day. Egan behind the cage. He's had a big day for the Orangemen. Double team. Comes away with the ball. Egan cradles in front and had the ball stripped away by the goaltender Canaris, who has the ball on the right. Lobs it across field, and again they throw it away. Lee, that's 3 straight trips upfield to Pennsylvania, has lost the ball out of bounds without ever even taking a shot.
Tony Seaman's going to have to make an adjustment there. He needs to get a good ball handler in the middle of the field to get the ball and take it one-on-one. Tremendous play by Canaris. Let's watch him as the ball is thrown out of bounds. He made a sensational play. He double-teamed the offense of Syracuse. The man beat him coming around to a wide-open net. He went over the head to take the ball away and to go upfield with it. He's having a sensational day no matter what the score.
Loose ball on the field. Brooke Chase of Syracuse cannot get it away from Tim Mahoney. And here's Mahoney up the field. 8-4 Syracuse, 8 minutes left.
Penn needs a goal in a big way. They've got to settle down their team. There's finally a penalty. It'll be the first penalty situation for Penn, and they couldn't come at a better time.
Yes, Peter Smith was sticked up high by Stouffer, and here's the call.
32, 1 minute personal, slash.
And Pennsylvania will have its first extra man opportunity of the day as Smith was cradling with it. Here's the play, Lee.
Watch Stouffer come with the stick. He's working the man behind. Now he'll come around front, and he'll catch the helmet along as he tries to go front to back, and that is not legal in the game of lacrosse. You slash him in the head, that'll cost you 60 seconds in the box. This is the first extra man opportunity for Penn. Syracuse has had 4 opportunities, getting 1 for 4. That's a 25% efficiency rate, which is a little bit low. The average is like 33%. That's what you shoot for.
6 attackers, 5 defenders. Pennsylvania with the extra man. Smith, Doherty, Fisher, Greco, and 40. Here's the shot, and a great save by Palin, right in front. No goal. Went in, no goal.
In the crease, they're calling in the crease, I believe, on Penn. Ball will go into Syracuse, and that was the best save of the game for the young goalie, Palin. Take a look at it. They move it very well. What you want to do is get the defense sliding, and you see the defense moving. The goalie had to come all the way across from the left pipe. 9 times out of 10, that's a goal. They did a beautiful job of moving the ball. Palin with the biggest save of this game for him.
On Tom Kelly, who then went into the crease, so Syracuse will have the ball and an opportunity to release the penalized player if the Orangemen can gain possession of the ball at the attack half of the field inside the box.
Well, they've got Keith Owens down there with the ball. Syracuse does. He's going to take his time, but he's got wheels. They'll just look for a little seam there and run it up. No tricks here. A lot of speed. Just take off.
That's Smith guarding him behind the cage.
No pressure. There's no time pressure because they are a man down. Normally you have a time limitation to get that ball cleared up. Not so here because they're the man down team. He'll wait for him to be overplayed. If Penn comes in and overplays him a little bit, that's when he'll take off. It'll be sheer speed.
Time about to elapse on the penalty, and now it does. Syracuse at even strength now, and here's Paul Gate stripped of his stick. That's one way to stop the Gates, I would guess. Just take the stick away.
Good hit by Keith McCartney on the sideline against Paul Gate. Gives the ball back to Penn.
Christopher Judy knocked off the ball by Gate, and Syracuse has it once again. Here's Jim Egan. Syracuse 5-on-3. Jim Egan into the goal area on the left side, makes his move left, feeds it in front, and the ball is loose on the field. You can see with these long sticks, the Orangemen just can't pass the ball well, and really no team can with the long sticks on the field.
Paul Gate had a chance for a good shot, but Penn had the stick right on his stick. That's what they're doing. Stick on stick, keep him from cranking up that hard outside shot, just like that.
And Canaris makes the save.
Kessenich, of course, the great goalie for Hopkins.
He's played like Quint. Here's Burns. Syracuse into the goal area on the right. Angling in on Mahoney of Pennsylvania, and a whistle.
I tell you, Palin for a pretty subpar day. The biggest save of his life a few moments ago in the extra man.
Illegal procedure, White. Too many men. You ball.
You know, we'll go back to that, Bill, that extra man situation just moments ago where Penn worked it beautifully, had it set up. You know, they couldn't set it up any better. Had the shot the way they wanted. Palin came over, made a sensational save. That would have brought him back to within 3. And any time in the game of lacrosse, you're within 3 goals, you're within striking distance.
8-4 Syracuse leading, 5:43 to play third quarter. I mentioned Kessenich. Let's talk about the top goaltenders in lacrosse that we won't see here. He's one. Barney Aburn of North Carolina. Saul Nicasio, Massachusetts. Here's an opportunity. Pennsylvania on the attack.
What, Jack? Talk about that a little bit later. Barney
That
Aburn,
shot goes wide by Sheets.
you talked about from North Carolina.